for Lipscomb University is technology and problem-based learning. And so we had to create a problem-based learning unit, and we needed to share it with some teachers, and I made mine for a 5th grade level class. So my theme is the steps of implementing a problem-based learning. My topic is hunger in our community, and I am in my last semester at Lipscomb University working on my master's in instructional technology. Why did I choose hunger? We had to choose a topic that was relevant in a real world problem, and hunger is very close to my heart. When my first husband died 12 years ago, my kids were 1 and almost 5. And I had to swallow my pride and go to the community outreach and ask for help until I could get back on my feet for a little while. And so hunger is very, very important. Hunger in our community is very important to me. And realizing that there's situations beyond somebody's control that puts them in that type of situation that they need help. And that my philosophy is when you can help, you help in whatever way you can, whether it's time or food or money or helping clean up the community outreach center. So that's why I picked hunger. Hunger is very close to my heart, as you know now. And I thought of this as a good way to be able to help our community and the people that are hungry in our community. Problem-based learning, you have to have a relevant, real-world problem. Obviously, we can't solve all the world's problems, but what can we do to learn about it and make a difference and help the kids be more aware of it? It is led by the students, mostly the teachers, the facilitator. It is ownership by the kids, and the kids take it and run with it. You put the question out there and have some guidance for them, but they get to go along with it to do. It's very cross-curricular, so it can cover a lot of different standards and a lot of different subjects. Unit goals and objectives, of course. We have our evaluations. We have to have all our pieces of the pie in here. The goals for this unit, since we use math, ELA, English Language Arts, Health, and Technology to learn about hunger in Knox County. Students will research an organization that helps fight hunger and participate in a service project to benefit the people served by that organization. Students will journal their activities and reflections as part of this unit, and students will participate in a small group to create a presentation of their understanding and knowledge acquired during this unit. So those are the outcomes that I'm looking for at the end of this unit. And our standards, as I said, is cross-curricular. I'm going to give you, if you're interested, I'll give you a list of all the standards that it goes through. I'm just going to go through this quickly so you can see that it is very cross-curricular and that it does cover a lot of our standards that we need to be teaching. They cover the Tennessee state standards and also the ISTE-NETS standards. If you're not familiar with that, that's the International Standards for Technology in Education. Here's our math standard. We have communications, writing, research, and media all covered within this for our ELA. Health standards. And then these are all technology standards. Communication and collaboration. Research and information fluency. Critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. And if you think about the titles of those technology standards, a lot of those go with what we're doing with our tab already. Of course, we have to have our objectives. The objectives for this unit, the students will understand that hunger is increasing in Knoxville. Students will be able to use technology effectively to record an interview and gather data related to a real-world problem. The students will be able to create a presentation using technology that clearly represents the data, the group service project, and the results of their problem-based learning units. The students will understand that there are different reasons for hunger in our community, students will know that everyone can make a choice that impacts their society. With the problem-based learning unit, you have a driving question. So you have one main question that the kids are supposed to keep focused on. It's kind of like their focus question or their task with that. And so our focus question or our driving question is, how does hunger impact our community? So that's the real goal that I want them to get to. I want them to be able to answer this question when we're finished. Data sources, so where are they going to find their information to find that data and be able to make graphs and put in fractions and so forth. These are 4 that I found, and these are actual live links that we can go to. Second Harvest, Feeding America, the Examiner, which is right here in Tennessee, and Tennessee Local 4. Presentation of findings. The presentations should take 5 to 7 minutes when they're finished. Each participant will contribute to the final presentation. Presentation should include the name of the organization that they researched, important data they learned from their interview and research, summary of their service project, and the impact it made on each student. So they'll be doing some reflections and journal writing along with that as well. Again, why are we doing this? Right now, 28% of our kids are hungry. They're the ones that are receiving their emergency food service. Outline and procedures. This unit takes 10 days to do. Day 1, I have in the lesson to read The Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen, to talk about how hunger and poverty is not a new problem. It goes back to centuries, but that was written during the 1800s. Talking about roles, expectations, responsibilities, including daily journals, individual and group rubrics, and talking about the specific service projects associated. And when I contacted the 5 organizations that they can choose from, these are the ideas that they had for us as far as doing a non-perishable food drive, pledges for hunger walks or races, cleaning supply drive, personal hygiene supplies, loose change. All the organizations can get a second harvest and purchase a can of food for 25 cents. So if we did a loose change drive, they can purchase more food to feed the families that they service. Making awareness posters, and then any other ideas that the students can come up with, so there's some choice for the students. Day 2 would be independent work on the computers. They're going to have 5 organizations. They would have an hour for each class, so they would use this class period to look at the 5 different organizations and choose which ones they wanted to work with, and put them in order from 1st to 5th in the order that they wanted to have it. Day 3 would be forming groups and establishing roles, responsibilities, and expectations. Groups would be formed using their preference list, but also behavior concerns and other issues that we're aware of in the classroom. Day 4 is group work. Share the independent research findings that they did from looking at those 5 organizations, why they wanted to learn more about their organization, create interview questions, brainstorm presentation ideas, and implementation of service projects. So this is really getting to know their group and starting to get a game plan of what they want to do. Day 5 would be practice interviewing, videoing each other while giving academic feedback to each other. So they could finish creating their interview questions and then practice interviewing with each other before they actually had to go out and do that themselves. Day 6 could be a field trip to the organizations to conduct their interviews. This could be actually done or virtual field trips using Skype, using Zoom, things like that, but they can work with the leaders at those organizations if actual transportation could be arranged. So they would conduct their interviews with the representative and start to talk about their service project that they wanted to do. Day 7 would be share field trip reflections with their small group, editing of interviews, and continue working on their service project. Day 8 and 9, presentations and service project time. And then day 10, they would present their 5 to 7 minute presentation to the class and also write reflections. What did they learn from doing the project? What would they do different? Kitchen, CAC. We actually did a hunger hike for them in October. CARM, the Water Angels, and Fish Hospitality Pantries. So on the day that they were researching their organization, they would have a chance to go look at these 5 different websites and look and see what their mission statement was, what they do, how they impact the community, and be able to make their preference list from those 5. The culminating activity, the final activity, they need to give the name and a brief history of the organization, use clips from the interview, the group's definition of hunger, including data, might support creativity, a summary of their service project, and individual reflections. So that would all be included in their final project. Some of the media that they could use a PowerPoint, they could use Movie Maker, Keynote, iMovie, or Prezi. And this presentation that I'm using right now is a Prezi. Cooperative learning. Again, the groups will be formed first by preference and second by any behavior concerns that the teacher has. There's 4 jobs: the interviewer, reporter, digital reporter, or camera person, like Jessica today, production designer, and editor, and then specific expectations and responsibilities of each job. All students in the group will participate in creating the interview questions, partaking in a service project for their organization, and contributing pictures, text, and other ideas to the final project. So they can all have individual roles, but then they contribute to the group project as well. The technology for the students to use. Students will use desktops, laptops, or tablets to research the 5 chosen organizations. Students may use Skype and Jing, iPads, iPod Touches, or flip cameras to record the interviews. And students may choose to create their presentations, again with Prezi, PowerPoint, Keynotes, iMovie, or Movie Maker, or if they have another software that would need to be approved. Technology for the teachers to use. Technology for the presentation, management, and production. The teacher will use the internet, a laptop, and projector to display the YouTube videos and Second Harvest videos, which is part of the initial activity for the hook. A personal iPad will be used to record anecdotal notes of individuals and groups throughout the unit using guiding conversations. A digital camera will be used to take pictures to document the service projects and group work. And teacher will use Prezi to compile a reflective presentation to share this project with the school and parents. And then again, why are we doing this? Because we want our children to have food to eat and eat happy. Do you have any questions? Do you think with assistance and time that this might be something that could possibly be done with your kids?
Yes.
Yes.